Super Bowl 59 is on Westwood One.
Now the Chiefs are on the doorstep of history, going for a third consecutive Super Bowl.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Grant. Join Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Laura Oakman, Gene Steratore, Devin McCourty, and me for all the action right here.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank, as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll, and I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It is a Friday, and welcome into The Drive here live from Clinton, Mississippi. Wes Neighbors is,
honestly,
I talked to him. That's a good way to put it. That is a very good way, because I talked to him earlier today, and he was already having fun. I'll put it that way. Scott Tyson joins me.
Would want to get dehydrated.
Well,
No, he's scouting future locations for the SEC spring meetings for us when we make the trip down there. He's doing advanced scouting for that.
Okay. Yeah, there is no doubt that he already has the location set there for the spring meetings. That is confirmed. So we've got you for an hour, and then coming up in hour number 2, if you missed our conversation that we had earlier in the week with the one and only Jerry Glanville, that will get you ready for Super Bowl 59 and a game that you'll be able to hear right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. A little bit of a rematch, and honestly, with watching the shows down at Radio Row, and by the way, we were granted access to be on Radio Row, just we were in the middle of a move from old and busted to new hotness, and so
we call it the Jeffersons move.
Moving on up.
Yes,
that's fair. Yeah, I like that. But so that kind of that did prevent us, because I was asked point blank of, what do we need to do? And I said, well, if you're telling me we need to be out by the end of the month, then I can't be in 2 places at once. So it was, and that's still true, by the way, but we are still moving into our new digs, and it's going to be good in the long run. But right now on the road with the UAH Chargers, and by the way, we'll have both games for you tomorrow, both the men and women, starting a little before 2:00. But it actually cranks up even earlier. We got games all over the place for you tomorrow, with Tennessee visiting Oklahoma. That'll be from ESPN Radio. That pregame starts at 10:30. And then, as I mentioned, a double dipper over at the A.E. Wood Coliseum. There. That's right. We went from another Coliseum earlier, and so we'll have both the men and women for you.
Did you go back
tomorrow
to
afternoon? Well, Drew got such a kick out of that sign that I'm pretty sure I posted it on social media. We went through Drew, Mississippi on our way to Cleveland, and I think Drew wanted me to go kind of swipe that sign, but that's more of a college kid.
Is that larceny or misdemeanors?
In Mississippi, who knows? I mean, really, honestly.
In Mississippi, it's called the badge of honor.
Yeah. Well, and then Saturday night, Alabama visits Arkansas. You heard the preview of that game earlier today on Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond, and that starts at 6:00. And then on Sunday, a little thing called the Super Bowl, and our coverage starts at 1:00. But it does feel a tad lethargic because this is as close of a rematch since the Cowboys and Bills went back to back in 92 and 93.
Yeah.
But
Kansas City's the first team to make it to the Super Bowl with a chance to three-peat ever.
That's right. So there, of course, the Bills made it 4 years in a row, but they did something else with that. They lost 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
There, and it's still, honestly, of all the 30 for 30s, still one of my favorites is the Four Falls of Buffalo, of just kind of going through that from Scott Norwood all the way through that.
Yeah, that Jim Kelly. I mean, that team there. Yeah, they were so good. Thurman Thomas, they were so good.
Yep.
So good.
In fact, Scott is able to corral us a little tie-in because of the Super Bowl, and it is kind of neat when you download the game notes from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah,
the first one says Saquon Barkley, but then Reed Blankenship pops up, and then right after that is Kari Blasingame.
Yeah, there's 3 players from our area playing in the Super Bowl. You got Reed Blankenship, who played at West Limestone, Kari Blasingame, who played at Buckhorn, and Nicholas Morrow from Huntsville High. Now, Nicholas and Kari were called up. They were brought up from the practice squad, I believe, on the 16th of January or the 26th of January. They were called up and brought up to the roster to be a part of the Super Bowl. And obviously, Reed Blankenship has been playing all season.
Big part of the Eagles.
Yes, big part of that defense.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you and I and Drew, downtown Drew, we called one of those games with Reed. It was the East Limestone, West Limestone showdown.
I will never forget that trip coming back because the windows were fogging up and we were in the car. I was in the back seat and Drew kind of mumbles to himself a good bit. I don't think I'm letting the cat out of the bag. I really don't think I'm letting. But I'm telling you, Scott's in the front seat and I'm right behind him. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, this is how I'm going to die. This is how I'm going to die. I'm going to be in a car with Drew DeArmond with fogged up windows.
Well, because we didn't wait for the fog.
No.
We didn't wait for the windows to clear.
No.
And if you have ever left West Limestone High School, it's in a valley.
It's a soup.
It's down in there. And we were coming out of it, and we were coming around these bends, and it was...
I'm getting flashbacks right now.
See the grip.
Yeah,
it was.
I'm getting flashbacks.
Holy buckets.
Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks. But we made it, obviously. And to say all that to say that Shelby Davis, the head coach, is going to join us here in about 8 minutes' time to because they had a pep rally and well-deserved.
They did. They had a Let's Eagles Fly type of pep rally this afternoon at West Limestone High School. So,
and evidently it was some kind of video message as well.
Yeah, so it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, his coach will join us, to talk about that.
So that is coming up, and there's a decent amount to get into. There is one part of following college football, as we all do here in the Deep South, is the college football transfer portal rankings, which to me, I still don't know how they decipher who's getting the best. I realize you can judge a person talent-wise,
right,
but you don't know what exactly they're going to bring to the table with how the roster is set. So we'll dive into a little bit of that. Ryan Day's new contract. We talked about that yesterday with Wes, but there is also another little wrinkle that, and there is early point spreads on key college football games as well. And there's a couple out there that may surprise you. But how slow is this news day? So the service that I get from ESPN.com, it gave me, where is it? It's called 50 for 50. And it gives me each of the 50 states. That this is how slow the news day is. The nickname, the motto, state food. Do you know what the state food is for the state of Alabama?
The state food?
Yeah.
Chitlins? It's the Alabama white sauce, isn't it?
You know what? That's
the white barbecue sauce.
Yeah. So here is the rundown for the state of Alabama. Of course, capital is Montgomery.
Right.
The nickname is the Yellowhammer State. Admitted to the Union in 1819. The motto is "We dare to defend our rights." I didn't know that. Most popular sport, college football. Notable athletes from the state is Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Bo Jackson, Mia Hamm, Julio Jones, Ben Wallace. He made the cut. Charles Barkley and DeMarcus Ware. And the state food for the state of Alabama, lane cake.
Heck, a lane cake.
So thank you. LANE cake. That's lane cake. And I don't think I've ever had lane cake.
Kip is not from here.
What is a lane cake?
So I looked it up.
Apparently, it's not on my Super Bowl menu.
No. Lane cake is also known as prize cake or Alabama lane cake. It's a bourbon laced baked cake, traditional an American South delicacy that was first developed by a resident named Emma Rylander from America's Georgia, but she developed it in Clayton, Alabama. But I've never had lane cake. I have no idea what lane cake is, but that is the state food of the state of Alabama.
Why can it not be Conecuh sausage?
It should be Conecuh sausage.
See, thank you.
It's magical. It should be that or the white barbecue sauce.
I think the white barbecue sauce, honestly.
So when we drove down to Pensacola 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
for the road trip, we drove right past Enterprise, right past where the Conecuh sausage place. I was like, man, we got to. I just wanted to stop and just bring a bunch of it home.
Yeah.
I would think that would be what we should be known for.
If I'm going to stockpile on something, it's Conecuh sausage.
There you go.
We are currently in the state of Mississippi with the UH Chargers. By the way, shout out to UH for 21 straight wins. That's the first time they've ever done it in school history. So a big salute there to the Chargers as they continue to try to send me to an early grave by nearly evaporating a 16-point lead. But Mississippi, of course, the Magnolia State, but the most popular sport listed is college football, and obviously, and most notable athletes from the state of Mississippi, Jerry Rice, Walter Payton, Brett Favre, Archie Manning, and Ruthie Bolton. And I'm not sure who Ruthie Bolton is.
Ruthie Bolton is a track star.
Okay. And then the food, the state food, there is no official state food for the state of Mississippi, but it's known for the Mississippi mud pie. And I mean, I've had that.
Oh, my bad. Ruthie's a basketball player. I misspoke. Ruthie is a basketball player. Yes. Former WNBA standout, Ruthie.
Yeah. So anyway, just trying to inform folks more than anything, but I thought it was amusing.
On your 50 from 50, did you hear the news out of North Carolina today? They're introducing legislation to have naming rights for the athletic director at NC State. You heard me.
No.
The naming rights. They were talking a little bit on this morning on Chuck Oliver. And what they want to do is have it so you can purchase naming rights. So I thought I would check with the Larry's Pistol and Pawn program director, Steve Moulton, about what he thought about it.
I thought you were going to say Bill Belichick picked up his girlfriend from daycare.
By the way, Snoop Dogg slayed that last night, didn't he? Anyway, let's go ahead and take an early timeout, and we will talk to the head coach for West Limestone High School on the other side. It is a Friday. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
One of these days you'll do a show from there, won't you?
One of these days. We'll be right.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution for your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
Howdy, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you're planning a tailgate party at the game, cheering for your favorite teams at home, or at your local Baumhauers with your family and friends, We're here to make your football party legendary with our party-ready tray selections. From our always fresh buttermilk fried chicken tenders to the homemade Nana's chicken salad, and of course, our fresh, never frozen, award-winning buffalo-style chicken wings. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Coming up on Monday, The Drive will be live from Full Moon Barbecue. I can already feel the text message from Drew Arman right now.
You need me on Monday?
Well, if you'd like to come by, I mean, that's a fairly close walk to the new facility.
Oh, there you go. I forgot about that. Yeah.
There for us right along the Parkway. We're in the state of Mississippi. We went from Cleveland to Clinton as we're traveling along with the UAH Chargers, but there's a number of folks who are down in the Bayou right now getting ready for Super Bowl 59, a game that you'll be able to hear right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Pregame, by the way, started 10 minutes ago. No, I'm only kidding. Pregame starts at 1 o'clock on Sunday, but there was some festivities over at West Limestone High School for a particular reason, and head football coach Shelby Davis is kind enough to join us. He's been the head coach in charge there since 2018.
Yep.
Coach, how are you? You're on with Scott Tyson and Steve Moulton.
Man, I appreciate you guys having us on, and man, I hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, Coach. I mean, it's one thing when you watch the Super Bowl and you root for a team, because maybe a college player or your favorite college player is there. But how many times have you? I mean, this is pretty cool now when you get to watch the Super Bowl and root for a player that you coached.
Oh yeah, well, unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to coach him, but it does make it personal for our community and our school, and anytime it's personal, it's a lot more intense, and it's just an exciting moment for him, and it's been an exciting journey for him and for all of us to sit back and watch. So, we're just really proud of him, and man, we hope he performs to the very best of his ability Sunday.
Tell me about the pep rally, Coach. How did that come about, and what was that atmosphere like today?
It was pretty electric. We wanted to do something, to celebrate the opportunity and the special moment that he'll have Sunday. And our staff did a great job of putting it on and putting it together, and we hope everybody enjoyed it.
What's it been like at the school all week, knowing that somebody, from West Limestone, and not just playing, Reed actually, he is a key contributor to this Eagles defense. And what's it been like at school all week?
Well, it's just been, really exciting to see, people, get involved and participate. And, sometimes you don't understand or realize the impact that it has until you sit back and just take a moment and look and reflect. And, I from my standpoint, being the head football coach at his alma mater, we had signups for our middle school football for our sixth graders, a couple weeks ago, and we got 36, which is unheard of. 36 kids signed up to come out and for middle school football out of the sixth grade, and that's about twice what we average per grade. And if you look back, those guys were in the fourth, fifth grade when he started his made his NFL debut, and he came back, and a lot of those kids participated in his camp this past summer. So I contribute those numbers to him for sure. He definitely had something to do with that.
That's pretty impressive, Coach. And that is great to hear because, the numbers have been down overall in the state with all of the parents concerned over head injuries. But I would argue, though, Coach, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that it feels like football is as safe as it's ever been right now.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. The game is safer than it's ever been, through equipment. Our guys are wearing better equipment, in the last few years than I wore when I played in Division I, so, the game's never been safer as far as equipment, the rules that have been modified and changed to try to make it safer. Now, is that to say that the kid's not going to get injured? Absolutely not. It's a physical, violent game. And, I think that's what I enjoy watching Reed play so much. Like, he gets after it, and he does not hold back.
No, he doesn't.
Have you had a chance, or, have you guys had a chance as a staff to talk to him leading into the Super Bowl?
No, we leave him alone. We talk here and there. I know he, as a former competitor and player, I know he's got one thing on his mind, and he wants to be, prepared as possible for Sunday. And so, no, I don't mess with him. We don't mess with him. We leave him alone, and we'll talk when we get the chance.
But you mentioned him coming back, and how often, how many years has he done the camp there at West Limestone, Coach?
Well, for a few years, when he was at Middle Tennessee and I got the job at West, we would do a youth camp every summer, and we would invite all the college players that played at West to come back and help us with the camp. And he did that, for several years. And, last year, once he kind of, established his spot or whatever you want to say, his agent, and through his agent and him and me working together, we were able to put that camp on this past summer where, I can't remember the exact number, but it's, over 100 kids.
Ooh.
Wow.
Is it in the works to do it again this year?
Yeah. As soon as we wrapped it up last year, we talked about, what we could do better this next year. And, it's definitely something that these youngsters, they look forward to. And, our younger kids probably, get fired up more about it than our older kids. But, it's just exciting to see, what somebody from a small place like West Limestone, the impact that they can have, and, how much a community, gets behind somebody like that. And, I've told people, I didn't get to coach him, but just being around him and hearing the stories and, my interactions with him, it's not so much as about the player, it's about the person. He's a great player, but he's a great person also. And, that's what makes it special.
Well, Coach, while I've got you, and we try to cover high school football as best we can, and, Scott, of course, anchors the Friday Night Scoreboard show. Tell me about what's coming back, because I know spring football and spring drills are right around the corner.
Well, we've lost a lot to graduation. We got a lot of starters that'll be graduating, and we've got a lot of young guys that are going to be taking the field next year. So, I talked to them at the end of our workout today just about, not really focusing on the results or the wins, just focusing on the opportunities, kind of piggybacking off of Reed and his journey and the opportunities that, he's taking advantage of, and just trying to take advantage of every little opportunity that we get and win those little moments. here and there, and then, stack those up and, see what the end result is come August. We don't participate in a spring really, just because we got so many kids that play, other sports, and they kind of need a break. The coaches kind of need a break, and I think it just suits us being a smaller school. Once we get all our kids being able to start, now the HSA gives you a choice. You get, those 10 days in the spring, or you get to start early in the fall and use those days. So I just think it benefits our program and to start early in the fall, and every year's a new year, and man, we're excited. We're trying to put in the work to give ourselves the best chance or best opportunity to be successful.
Well, all right, Coach. I want to dive into the Super Bowl party. How what's it going to look like in the Davis household? How big of a spread are we talking about on Sunday, Coach? And what are we serving?
I don't know.
You know that yet?
It'll probably be pretty small at the Davis house, because I got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they're all over the place and want you to play, and so we'll have some snacks and stuff, I'm sure, but it's hopefully my little boy he'll sit still long enough to watch more than the national anthem, but it's just we're looking forward to sitting down and watching, and man, I hope that the Eagles can pull it off.
Yep. Because, how cool would that be from West Limestone County to call themselves and to have somebody host the Vincent Lombardi Trophy, be a Super Bowl champion from Limestone County? That would be special, Coach.
Absolutely. And sometimes I don't think people understand how special it is, but it'll be something special that a lot of people will remember for sure.
Well, Coach, I can't thank you enough for hopping on, and I am sure we will be communicating with you. Was there a lot of Eagles here this week around the hallways?
Man, I know the NFL is racking up in North Alabama on
So the number one selling jersey in Athens, Alabama is not Phillip Rivers. It is, and by the way, we'll talk about that here in a minute, but it's Reed, and that's awesome. That is awesome, Coach.
Yeah, right now it's that 32 Eagles jersey for sure.
That's awesome.
Appreciate the time.
Yes, thank you so much.
Man, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all.
All right, Shelby Davis, West Limestone head coach. So in my mind, I'm going through jerseys. Phillip Rivers never got to play in the Super Bowl.
He got to the doorstep, but remember the Patriots, and he was injured that year too.
Quez Watkins, I believe, I need to go back and look, but I think Quez Watkins from Athens was on the last Super Bowl team, I think, for the Eagles. Maybe.
Yeah.
If not, I don't think there's been a Super Bowl champion come from Limestone County. So Reed Blankenship potentially could be the one from Limestone County.
Yeah.
Now, we've had one from Madison County. Darian Stewart was a Super Bowl champion with the Denver Broncos. So Kari Blasingame and our friend
Reggie Ragland.
And Reggie,
Reggie was on that first Kansas City Chiefs team.
And then, of course, on the Kansas City side, we cannot leave out the fact that recently inducted into the Huntsville-Madison County Hall of Fame, Ramsey Robinson is one of their director of player engagement for the Kansas City Chiefs. So he handles a lot of the stuff from behind the scenes with the Kansas City Chiefs players and stuff. And he's been there several years now. So he has a chance to be a part of that three-peat for the Kansas City Chiefs. So there is a lot of ties to North Alabama in this year's Super Bowl.
And that's great news about the amount of kids signing up for football there at West Limestone.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I've been concerned about the numbers that I see on the sidelines over the last 3 or 4 years around high school football. And I get it. I understand it from a parent point of view. You want your child to be as safe as possible. But I'm with Coach that right now football needed to get away with the targeting and the head down and get away from that. And I think football is better now that it is safer, and it is safer. So here's for hoping that more kids participate in high school football, because it's a special part of our community here in Alabama.
Big part of our community. Big part.
Huge part. There is no doubt about that. So that's a cool little tie-in here with Super Bowl 59. And by the way, if you want to, if you have quite a few folks coming over for your Super Bowl party, well, we got some deals for you. Just head over to our website, 977ESPN.com, and then click on the Big Zone. Our savings never tasted so good logo in the upper left-hand corner of our homepage. And I mean, if you want barbecue, we got you covered. If you want Carrabba's Italian Grill, if you want sea salt, Lawler's Barbecue, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar is our deal of the day, by the way. Those are going quickly right now, $20 for $50. I said 20 for $50 for Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. You also got Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Full Moon Barbecue, as well as Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location. Bigfoot Little Donuts is also out there, as is Good Company Cafe and Hickory Store Barbecue. I mean, we're all going to have some kind of festivities on Sunday. And
I've got a lot of food planned. My wife told me that it's too much. Downtown Drew just texted me, and I totally forgot about this one. Michael Boley was part of the New York Giants, and he was from Elkmont. He went to Southern Miss High School.
Yeah, I forgot
played
about
high school
that
at Elkmont, and he was on the Super Bowl team. And then we also got a message on Facebook. Yes, Nicholas Morrow is from Huntsville High. We mentioned him out of the gate.
Thank you, Hoss Johnson. He texted me Willard System with the Washington football team the Redskins.
Well, yeah, and then Howard Cross too.
Yeah,
Howard Cross from New Hope.
Yeah.
He would have won one as well. So I said Madison County has had Super Bowl winners, and now Limestone County. Michael Boley, I guess, would be the first, and then I assume Reed Blankenship would be the second.
Yeah.
So
anyway, there's.
So now you have a reason to root for somebody other than Kansas City, because it seems like everybody wants Kansas City to lose.
There's a lot of people that want Kansas City to lose. I mean, maybe it is, and we see this on the other side of Bama fatigue. How often have we talked about Bama fatigue?
Yeah.
Now it's Kansas City Chiefs fatigue, and
it's SEC fatigue, Alabama fatigue.
Yeah,
it's all in one. Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, there for a while, it was the Patriots, where people were getting sick of the Patriots.
Yeah,
just something about a dynasty where people, I guess, just want a new story to look at, dive into.
When we were kids, was it that way with San Francisco when Steve Montana and Joe Young, or Steve Montana and Steve Young and Joe Montana? Yeah, I get it all mixed up there.
Young
and the Dallas Cowboys, when they had Troy and Emmett. I mean, did we look?
Well,
did we look at them like we look at Kansas City now?
But I grew up as a Falcon fan, and the Falcons were in the same division with the San Francisco 49ers. Don't ask me why.
Right.
But I would dread those two games every year because I knew what was coming. The beatdown that was Bill Walsh's San Francisco 49ers. And it just, in fact, when we would beat San Francisco, that was a huge deal as a Falcon fan. But
wasn't that
I think there were
Dirty Birds that finally got over the hump and started beating San Francisco.
That was the late 90s when they reconfigured everything. But I remember the mid 80s. It was the way the 49ers would get dinged was calling them finesse. That they would just call them finesse. But I remember them going into, this is the year after the 85 Bears.
Right.
They went into Chicago and beat them. And I was like, well, so much for finesse, because that was a cold, cold day. And San Francisco beat down the Bears because everybody thought at that point, at least from my young memory, is that Chicago was about to go on this big run because of the Big Bad Bears defense there from the mid 80s. But yeah, there's been quite a number of teams that you think they're up for a run. This is really impressive what Kansas City is on the doorstep of doing because it's never been done.
Let me ask you this question. It was asked to Roger Goodell earlier in the week. It's been floated around. I mean, national media has picked up on it. Do you believe the referees give Kansas City an edge? Because, I mean, isn't that how crazy that is?
Yeah.
I mean, Roger Goodell was asked about that numerous times. It's been a topic on Radio Row all week. It's been a topic in the national sports media. I mean, the referees in Kansas City, and, you know, they just...
I would like to believe that it is not, because really, if the NFL was truly rigged, that we would have the Detroit Lions be taking on the Buffalo Bills, because those storylines, because there's already talk about ticket prices going down in this game and lack of interest in this game. And I mean, if it's truly rigged, I don't buy it. I really don't. But I mean, that's just me. But I mean, there was a couple of flags thrown in Kansas City's favor that you just kind of go, and I don't know how much
makes you wonder.
Yeah, it does. And I really don't dive in too deep into the NFL during the regular season until we get to late December and into January, of course, with the playoffs. And I do have a concern, though, of translating that into college football, whether or not the more expansion of the college football playoff, whether or not fans may wane a little bit and get ready for a playoffs deep. Yeah, because I don't know how often I've heard Wes say, don't worry about college basketball. I'll tune in late February and in March. Yeah, when
conference
it matters.
Tournament time, you start paying attention.
And then all of a sudden, I'd wonder if there is going to be a fraction of the college football fans, because at least from what I'm hearing is that the expansion is going to happen after next year to 14 teams, and the top 2 teams are going to get those buys, much like what you see with the NFL playoff map, where the top 2 teams get buys, but they break them up into conferences, obviously. But it's going to feel more like the NFL, and I enjoy college football, and I don't want to see the regular season get devalued. But the more we expand the playoffs, I just think we're headed down that path.
I think they're just going to have to. They're going to have to make it week after week after week. As soon as those conference championship games are over, you need to be playing. You need to be playing the college football playoffs next week.
No break.
You need to be going in, because if you win, you're getting the bye.
What about a play-in weekend rather than championship weekend?
Look, I don't think that'll happen, because the conferences want the money. They realize how much money they are. Well, and remember what the ACC put out there as a possibility. They just floated it out there that don't let your conference champion play in the conference championship game. Have your 2 and 3 seeds play in the conference championship game.
Yeah.
Because the winner would automatically get into the playoffs. Your number 1 seed is probably already going to make it in anyway.
Well, the ACC got 2 teams in last year.
You'd be guaranteed 2 pretty much every year. But my thing is regardless of whether it be a playing game or a conference championship game, you need to start the playoffs. And I know there's going to be people that say, well, that's Army, Navy. Yeah, that's reserved for them. It's supposed to be there, that kind of thing. But at the same time, too, college football has changed so much that we don't have 4 teams anymore. We're going to probably have 14 teams. You play all this stuff. College football has changed so much that everything has to change. Everything. And I'm sorry, but that Army-Navy game, it is big, yes. There's a way they can still make it and keep it in the spotlight.
Yeah.
But the college football playoffs have to start the week after the conference championship games. It's too long of a break. People lose interest.
And we saw, at least this go around, of the teams that did have the buys didn't benefit off of it.
Right.
They all lost.
Well, when we had the BCS, we had the BCS, you were off from the conference championship until January 10th most of the time.
Yeah.
And the teams that came out and were prepared and looked and were ready to go were the teams that succeeded a lot. And Alabama was really good. Nick Saban was really good at getting those teams to stay focused and be focused and play in that moment and come out and be ready to go from the very beginning.
Yeah.
But a lot of those teams just came out flat, struggled, looked out of sync, and never got going. And I think that was the case this year. They just never got going because those teams that came in had already played a week. They looked better.
On the subject of some college football, some early point spreads are out there. And here are some of the point spreads. This is released by FanDuel. You talk about some early lines. This is February, and we're talking about college football. Kansas State's a 3.5-point favorite over Iowa State. Don't worry. I'm going to get to some games that we care about. Ohio State's a 3.5-point favorite at home over Texas. Yeah, that ought to be interesting with Texas at Ohio State. Alabama is an 8.5-point favorite against the Seminoles.
How can you put a spread on a team now? How? Because you're going to go through spring football and you're going to have people,
and the portal's going to open up again in April.
And people are going to leave. How can you put a spread on teams right now?
Clemson is a 2.5-point favorite over LSU. Auburn is a 1.5 favorite at Baylor out of the gate.
They really travel to Baylor?
Yeah. Tennessee is a 14.5-point favorite over Syracuse. South Carolina is a 9.5-point favorite at Virginia Tech. And what are some other games you might care about? How about Bill Belichick's opener? North Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite over TCU.
Are you intrigued at all about what he can do in North Carolina as a college coach? Is that on your radar at all?
A little bit. I mean, I will be, watching it from afar. I'm not going to dive in too much into it. But how about you? I mean, I'm at least intrigued that he has gone to the college route.
Yeah.
He certainly has someone that he can call for a blueprint there in Nick Saban.
It seems like he's out recruiting. He's doing a lot of recruiting. At least North Carolina is doing a good job of showing it on social media that he's out doing recruiting.
And recruiting's marm candy, too.
Yeah. Last night, and look, everybody was making fun of him because he showed it because his girlfriend's 24 years old.
And he was wearing all of his rings, too.
She had one on, too. She had a Super Bowl ring on her hand.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. She was 24. He's like 74 or 75, and she is 24.
As a as a dad of a couple of daughters, I just
yeah, my son is 22, and he brought home a son. No, I'm not even going to say all that, but that's
Well, you started. I mean,
Dad, I'd like you to meet Bertha. She's 75. Bringing her home for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's my new girlfriend, Maud.
Yeah. Not to offend any Mauds or Berthas out there, but still.
By the way, underrated show, Maud. I'm telling you. I'm surprised we haven't seen it here in Mississippi. We've seen plenty of Golden Girls.
Brian, you would have appreciated the Delta News.
Oh, my God.
You would have appreciated the Delta. Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Our boy in the morning needs a comb.
We're talking about low budget television.
Well, in the bottom 100,
Oh boy.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, somebody forgot to tell him to comb his hair.
But I'm telling you, it was so bad that it was entertaining.
You and I both know someone who had trouble getting their hair done on time.
Yes.
Yeah, to curlers. Steve, it's an inside joke just from me and Scott. I'll tell you sometime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just getting up? Me too.
Let's just forget and let them have show on air. There's actually made the curlers made it to air.
Yep. And here's Jeff Castle with the weather.
Yes.
One other point spread to pass along. How about Ohio State as a 5.5-point favorite at Michigan? They've already put that point spread out there. They Ohio State is a 5.5-point favorite at Michigan. Okay. All right. You're going to have to clue me in on this little inside jokes.
I will during the break.
Okay. But I will tell you, the weather girl this morning on the Delta News, she didn't want to be there.
No.
I'm just telling you, she was looking directly into the camera like, here's your weather. Yeah, here it is.
Brian, they do everything there. One person produces, anchors, and does everything.
Does everything.
So, I mean, it was so.
It does make you appreciate what we have.
It was so much of a train wreck that you just kept watching it.
A couple of the commercial breaks were extra long so they could walk around and pick up the trash in the building.
There were doing everything, and those were stock commercials.
Yeah,
too.
those were your
infomercial
commercials.
The lawyer commercial, the call center,
the furniture place going into business. I'm reaching back to as someone who spent some formative years in market 192 out of 212.
Brian, this made market 192 look good. I'm just letting you know.
I'm awful proud of our old WJSU days, Channel 40, but 192. So,
the old Delta News.
Yeah,
you know what? You gotta start somewhere.
I did send a screenshot this morning to Greg Screws on
what was the weatherman's name? I sent you the weatherman's name.
Yes, you did.
And Brian, I kid you not, the weatherman's name was Anthony Fruits.
Anthony Fruits. There's Anthony Fruits with your forecast.
All right. Let's take our final time out, please. Please.
Hang them low, baby.
We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, We're here to help.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
It's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. Tired of that washer walking out the door and having to dry a load 2 or 3 times? It's time for a new washer and dryer. Pick from brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, and of course, Speed Queen. Try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center.
It all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977espn.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Scattered showers going to remain in the forecast for this Friday night. We'll see mostly cloudy sky, low temperatures falling into the upper 50s for the overnight. Heading into the weekend, isolated showers possible for Saturday morning. We'll see partly sunshine for the rest of the day. High temperatures warming into the mid-70s and heading into our Sunday. Looks like we'll be staying dry. Partly sunshine, high temperatures warming into the upper 50s for the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that never worked.
Final call for phone calls coming up next hour. If you missed our conversation that we had with the one and only Jerry Glanville, that'll get you ready for Super Bowl 59. What are we doing? We're breaking down Delta news. That's what we're doing.
Why not?
Hey, congratulations, though, to the Huntsville Crimson Panthers and the Albertville Aggies. They'll be playing for the area championship tomorrow over at Huntsville High School.
Yeah, and James Clemens will meet Florence in the other 7A.
That's also tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hoover and Vestavia Hills is tonight.
There you go.
For those of you Huntsville fans that want to keep an eye on Hoover, they downed Oak Mountain earlier in the week, 47-21. Vestavia Hills got past Hewitt-Trussville, 40-35 was that final score. So that comes up tonight. All right, former TV folks.
Brian, did you see the picture of the dude we sent you?
I did. And if you remember,
we're breaking down the Delta news right now, ladies.
I don't
and
know if
gentlemen.
McLaw is still in town or not. He was.
He was. I think he's an attorney now downtown.
Oh yeah, he finished law school while we were still both working.
Yeah, he's an attorney downtown.
WFF. Nick, if you're listening, we found a guy could be your stunt double if you've been out on a bender. 256-576-4977. Nick, call me, buddy. Are you still got my cell phone number? It's the same as it was years ago.
So I want to know why I see a bunch of weekend weather guys wearing jackets that are too small for them.
When you start out and you got to wear a suit every day, and I did this in my brief stint in the corporate world, where you've got to dress up every day, and you can't afford great suits. I was watching a piece with Steve Allen the other night. Well, he always bought cheap suits because he was cheap. But he didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. But you can't. So if you're buying off the rack and you're buying them cheap, you're not going to get a great fit. But if you can save up enough and get a jacket fitted for you, there's nothing like it. You'll realize what a schlub you look like.
Well, I was told by Steak Shapiro in the Atlanta market that a good tailor makes you look 10 pounds thinner.
Yep, 2 inches taller and 10 pounds lighter.
I mean, Well, but then I would turn around to Steak and I'd say, I don't have your money. So,
Right.
I still don't have Steak's money, by the way.
And I worked briefly at First Baptist with Billy Orton. And if you're in the arts community at all, you know who Billy Orton is when it comes to music. But he's a man, he would host the First Baptist Living Christmas Tree every year. It was his brainchild and everything. But he's the only person that not only owned a tuxedo, he owned multiple tuxedos. And all of them over the years, he had gotten tailored. And, he's getting older. I mean, he retired while I was at First Baptist. But he says, you get a tuxedo and you get one that fits, nobody looks any better. And so if you've got the money and save it for one good suit and one good tuxedo, you're set the rest of your life.
All right. I just got a private message from Twitter circling back to Lane Cake. And that's where we started back earlier this hour. The state food for the state of Alabama is Lane Cake. Never had it before, and evidently there is several places to purchase Lane Cake in Huntsville. So I'm going to have to investigate this. That it might need to be on the Super Bowl menu for Lane Cake, the state food of the state of Alabama. Had no idea about.
What's the food for Iowa?
What do you think it is? I would assume corn, but I mean,
I don't know what it would be. I really don't. Yeah,
so
I don't know what it would be. I mean, sweet corn, maybe.
Iowa, of course. Des Moines is the capital. I know.
Thank you. You say Des Moines because every idiot says Des Moines out there, or they'll be like Illinois.
It's Des Moines.
God.
And then the Hawkeye State. It was admitted to the Union in 1846. The motto of the state is "Our liberties we prize, and our rights we will maintain." State food. There is no official state food. But sweet potatoes are the official vegetable of the state of Iowa.
How is it not corn?
No, that's what I want to know.
It's also known for its corn. And the fun fact for Iowa, it's also home to the world's largest truck stop, which we've chronicled.
I have been to that. That's on I-80. I know where that truck stop is.
Your notable athletes are Caitlin Clark, Kurt Warner, Lolo Jones, Dan Gamble, and Sean Johnson.
Dan Gable.
Is that I say
Dan
it wrong?
Gable, Iowa wrestling coach, legend. Yes.
By the way, since we're going through home states, Georgia, the state food for the state of Georgia, it just says peach. Peach.
Oh, peach, duh.
Peach. Well,
yeah.
But, I mean.
More peaches come from Clanton, Alabama than come from Georgia.
Thank you. Its nickname, at least what I was told in Georgia history class, was the Empire State of the South, not the Peach State.
Wow.
But what do I know? What do I know? I know that you're going to listen to Jerry Glanville coming up next, and you'll also hear UAH Charger basketball, both the men and women, beginning at 2 o'clock over at A.E. Wood Coliseum.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Is Sports Center. I'm Marty Hausberger. The Chiefs and Eagles are meeting Sunday in a rematch of Super Bowl 57, which was won by KC 38-35 on a game-winning field goal. Appearing on ESPN Radio today, former New Orleans quarterback Drew Brees says the Eagles have more pressure to win this time.
If the Chiefs lose this, I think everybody's like, oh, man, they were right there, had an opportunity to three-peat, but they'll be back next year. They still got Patrick Mahomes, and they still got this 10-year run where they're probably going to be pretty dominant, right? Whereas from an Eagles perspective, man, you built this roster, and, like, you hit on some of these free agents, and, like, you're just in this position where it's your time.
Kansas City is playing in the Super Bowl for the 5th time in 6 years. Eli Manning not dwelling on his omission from the 2025 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. The former Giants quarterback, speaking a day after that 4-person class was announced, said on the NFL Network that he's happy for those who made it and isn't letting what happened sour his outlook on his career or the Hall of Fame overall. The brother of the late New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez sentenced today to 18 months of prison time already served for threatening to carry out a shooting at the University of Connecticut and to kill 3 people, including a judge in 2023. The 38-year-old DJ Hernandez's defense attorney says he's suffering severe mental health problems at the time of those threats and has since been receiving treatment and taking medication. Hernandez was a quarterback and wide receiver for UConn back in the mid-2000s. 15-time major champion Tiger Woods committed to play in next week's Genesis Invitational. It'll be his first start on the tour since he had back surgery last September.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannon, coming up Friday. I'll tell you what I'll need to see from Jalen Hurts and the Eagles if they want to end the Chiefs' dominance. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
In fact, right out of the gate, to help Chris in the new studio, Jerry Glanville going to join us here momentarily with ground. He's texting me. He's texting you too right now. With, I can only imagine. Oh, yeah, the police car. Yeah, the police. How are you, Wes?
I'm doing good.
Wow, he is peppering us with police car photos.
Yeah, he really went and bought a police car and wants me to buy one so we could race down the I-65. I-65. He wants to go down I-65.
Not Talladega.
I'm not racing him. He's a professional. If he wants to play nose guard for a couple of plays, I might go. Maybe. I don't even know if I can get down that stance anymore.
So Jerry Glanville is going to join us here momentarily, and got a phone call from Jim Nagy after the show, and he is going to join us 6 o'clock. Going to rehash a little bit of the Senior Bowl. His sincere apologies yesterday, as it usually happens, especially this time of year. A pop-up meeting. He called a pop-up meeting. Just came up out of nowhere, but it usually does happen because I would imagine there's quite a few NFL teams that want to talk to Mr. Nagy, given what he saw with his own eyes in Mobile and considering the kind of track record that the Senior Bowl